In 1492, Christopher Columbus, funded by Spain, sailed west across the Atlantic, hoping to find a new trade route to Asia. He landed in the Caribbean, mistakenly believing he had reached the East Indies. This marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the Americas, already inhabited by diverse Native American tribes. European diseases decimated native populations. Conflicts over land and resources arose as European powers established colonies. The English founded settlements like Jamestown in 1607 and Plymouth in 1620, driven by wealth, religious freedom, and new opportunities. These early colonies faced numerous hardships but persevered and grew. Tensions with England over taxation and representation culminated in events like the Boston Tea Party in 1773. This act of defiance became a catalyst for the American Revolution. Before the English, the Spanish, French, and Dutch also explored and claimed parts of the Americas, each leaving their mark. Spanish missions spread Christianity, French fur traders established networks, and the Dutch founded New Amsterdam, which later became New York. Early colonial governments began to form, with town meetings and charters laying the groundwork for self-governance. As tensions with Britain grew, colonial militias began to organize, setting the stage for the revolutionary conflict to come. In 1775, tensions between the American colonies and Great Britain erupted into armed conflict. The Revolutionary War began with the battles of Lexington and Concord, where the shot heard round the world marked the start of the colonies' fight for independence. Under the leadership of General George Washington, the Continental Army faced numerous challenges, including the harsh winter at Valley Forge. The Declaration of Independence, penned by Thomas Jefferson and adopted on July 4, 1776, proclaimed that all men are created equal with unalienable rights. The turning point of the war came with the American victory at the Battle of Saratoga in 1777, which secured French support for the Revolution. The war culminated in the Siege of Yorktown in 1781, where British General Cornwallis surrendered to Washington, effectively ending the conflict. Following a hard-fought war, the United States secured its independence in 1783 with the signing of the Treaty of Paris. The nation drafted the United States Constitution in 1787, establishing a system of government based on separation of powers, checks and balances, and federalism. Key figures like James Madison and Alexander Hamilton played crucial roles in the drafting and promotion of the Constitution. Ratified in 1788, it remains a cornerstone of American democracy. The Constitution created a framework for a strong and enduring republic with three branches of government. This system of checks and balances has proven to be a resilient foundation for American governance. The early 19th century was marked by a significant period of westward expansion, a movement that was greatly fueled by the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. This monumental acquisition, negotiated by President Thomas Jefferson, effectively doubled the size of the United States, adding approximately 828,000 square miles of territory. The purchase included land from 15 present U.S. states, and even parts of Canada. This vast expanse of land opened up new opportunities for settlement, agriculture, and trade, setting the stage for the nation's growth and development. The Louisiana Purchase was more than just a land deal. It was a catalyst for the American spirit of exploration and ambition. The acquisition of this territory was seen as a divine right and a national destiny, a concept that would later be termed manifest destiny. This belief held that the United States was destined to expand across the North American continent, from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. The spirit of manifest destiny drove countless settlers westward, eager to claim land and seek new opportunities. These pioneers traveled in covered wagons, braving harsh conditions, rugged terrain, and the unknown. They were motivated by the promise of fertile land, economic prosperity, and the chance to start anew. This westward movement was not without its challenges and dangers, but the determination and resilience of these settlers were remarkable. However, this expansion often led to conflicts with Native American tribes who had lived on these lands for centuries. The arrival of settlers disrupted their way of life, leading to numerous clashes and resistance. Native American tribes fought to defend their territories and preserve their cultures, but they were often overpowered by the sheer number of settlers and the military might of the U.S. government. These conflicts resulted in significant loss of life and displacement for Native American communities. As the nation grew, so did its internal divisions. The rapid expansion and the influx of new territories brought to the forefront contentious issues such as states' rights, economic differences, and, most notably, the institution of slavery. The North and the South developed distinct economic systems and social structures, leading to increasing tensions and disagreements over the future direction of the country. Slavery became a point of increasing contention, particularly as new states were added to the Union. The question of whether these new states would be free or slaveholding was hotly debated. Abolitionists in the North campaigned vigorously against the expansion of slavery, while Southern states sought to protect and extend the institution that was integral to their economy and way of life. This growing divide over slavery set the stage for a national crisis. These tensions ultimately culminated in the American Civil War, a brutal and bloody conflict that raged from 1861 to 1865. The war pitted the northern states, known as the Union, against the southern states, which had seceded to form the Confederacy. The Civil War was fought over fundamental issues, including states' rights and the future of slavery in America. It was a war that tested the very fabric of the nation, challenging its ideals and its unity. The Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was one of the most devastating conflicts in American history. It resulted in the deaths of an estimated 620,000 soldiers and countless civilians. The war saw significant battles such as Gettysburg, Antietam, and Fort Sumter, each leaving a lasting impact on the nation's memory. The conflict also brought about significant advancements in military technology and tactics, forever changing the nature of warfare. The Union's victory in the Civil War was a turning point in American history. It led to the abolition of slavery, a monumental step towards equality and justice. The end of the war marked the beginning of a new era for the United States, one that would be defined by the struggle to rebuild and reunite a fractured nation. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 was a significant milestone in this journey. The proclamation declared that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory were to be freed. While it did not immediately end slavery throughout the United States, it was a crucial step towards the eventual abolition of slavery and a powerful symbol of the Union's commitment to human rights and equality. The period following the Civil War, known as Reconstruction, aimed to integrate formerly enslaved people into society and rebuild the South. This era saw significant efforts to extend civil rights and political participation to African Americans. The Reconstruction Acts of 1867 laid the groundwork for the reintegration of Southern states into the Union and the establishment of new state governments that included African American representatives. However, the Reconstruction era also witnessed the rise of Jim Crow laws and racial segregation. Despite the progress made, many Southern states enacted laws that enforced racial segregation and disenfranchised African Americans. These laws created a system of institutionalized racism that would persist for decades, undermining the gains made during Reconstruction and perpetuating inequality and discrimination. The westward expansion also had a profound impact on Native American communities. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, led to the forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans from their ancestral lands. This tragic event, known as the Trail of Tears, saw the displacement of entire tribes, resulting in immense suffering and loss of life. The expansionist policies of the U.S. government continued to encroach upon Native American territories, leading to further conflicts and the erosion of native cultures and traditions. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 sparked the gold rush, attracting thousands of prospectors and settlers to the west. This mass migration contributed to the rapid development of new towns and cities, transforming the economic landscape of the region. The gold rush also intensified the displacement of Native American tribes and further strained relations between settlers and indigenous communities. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 was another milestone in the westward expansion. This engineering marvel connected the eastern and western parts of the United States, facilitating the movement of people, goods, and ideas across the continent. The railroad played a crucial role in the economic development of the West and the integration of the national economy. However, its construction also had significant environmental impacts and further disrupted Native American lands. The Homestead Act of 1862 encouraged further settlement by offering 160 acres of public land to any American willing to cultivate it for 5 years. This policy attracted thousands of settlers to the Great Plains, leading to the establishment of new communities and the expansion of agricultural production. The Homestead Act played a significant role in shaping the American frontier and promoting the ideal of self-sufficiency and independence. The westward expansion and the events of the 19th century played a crucial role in shaping the American national identity. The idea of manifest destiny, the spirit of exploration, and the pursuit of new opportunities became integral to the American ethos. These experiences fostered a sense of unity and purpose, despite the internal conflicts and challenges faced by the nation. The expansion also contributed to the development of a distinct American culture, characterized by resilience, innovation, and a belief in the promise of the future. As the United States continued to grow and evolve, the experiences of westward expansion, the Civil War, and Reconstruction left an indelible mark on the nation's identity. These events shaped the values and principles that continue to define America today. The journey from a collection of colonies to a unified nation was fraught with challenges, but it also laid the foundation for a country that values freedom, equality, and the pursuit of happiness for all its citizens. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the United States transform into an industrial powerhouse. This period, often referred to as the Second Industrial Revolution, was marked by rapid advancements in technology and industry. Factories sprang up across the nation, producing goods at an unprecedented rate. The introduction of assembly lines, pioneered by innovators like Henry Ford, revolutionized manufacturing processes, making products more affordable and accessible to the average American. Cities like Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Chicago became bustling hubs of industry, drawing millions of workers from rural areas and abroad in search of better opportunities. This mass migration led to the growth of urban centers and the rise of a new, diverse working class. The industrial boom also had significant social and economic impacts, leading to the rise of labor unions and movements advocating for workers' rights and better working conditions. The period was not without its challenges, as rapid industrialization also brought about environmental degradation and stark economic inequalities. However, it set the stage for the United States to emerge as a leading global economic power. Technological innovations revolutionized American life and propelled the nation into a new era of prosperity. The advent of electricity, the telephone, and the automobile transformed daily life, making communication and transportation faster and more efficient. Thomas Edison's invention of the electric light bulb extended the workday and improved living conditions. Alexander Graham Bell's telephone shrank distances, allowing people to communicate instantly across vast distances. The automobile, popularized by Henry Ford's Model T, gave Americans unprecedented mobility, reshaping cities and the countryside alike. These innovations not only improved the quality of life but also spurred economic growth, creating new industries and jobs. The rise of consumer culture during this period saw the proliferation of new products and services, from household appliances to entertainment options like radio and cinema. This era of technological progress laid the foundation for the modern American lifestyle, characterized by convenience, connectivity, and a high standard of living. The United States emerged as a global power in the 20th century, playing pivotal roles in both world wars. During World War I, American troops were instrumental in tipping the balance in favor of the Allies, leading to the eventual defeat of the Central Powers. The war also marked the United States' first major foray into international politics, signaling its arrival as a global player. The interwar period saw the nation grappling with economic challenges, culminating in the Great Depression. However, the outbreak of World War II once again thrust the United States onto the global stage. The attack on Pearl Harbor galvanized the nation, leading to a massive mobilization of resources and manpower. American industry shifted into high gear, producing vast quantities of war materials and supplies. The United States played a crucial role in the defeat of the Axis powers, with American soldiers fighting on multiple fronts across Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. The end of the war saw the United States emerge as one of the world's two superpowers, alongside the Soviet Union, setting the stage for the Cold War. The Cold War era saw the United States locked in a nuclear arms race with the Soviet Union. This period of geopolitical tension was marked by a series of proxy wars, espionage, and a constant threat of nuclear annihilation. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, highlighting the dangers of the superpower rivalry. The United States pursued a policy of containment aimed at preventing the spread of communism, This led to American involvement in conflicts such as the Korean War and the Vietnam War, with significant human and economic costs. Domestically, the Cold War era saw the rise of McCarthyism and the Red Scare, as fears of communist infiltration led to widespread paranoia and the persecution of suspected communists. Despite these challenges, the period also saw significant technological advancements, including the space race, which culminated in the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969. The eventual collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of the Cold War, leaving the United States as the world's sole superpower. The nation also grappled with civil rights issues. The post-World War II era saw a growing movement for racial equality, as African Americans and other marginalized groups demanded an end to segregation and discrimination. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s was a pivotal period in American history, marked by widespread protests, legal challenges, and acts of civil disobedience. Key events such as the Montgomery bus boycott, the March on Washington, and the Selma to Montgomery marches brought national attention to the struggle for civil rights. The movement faced significant opposition, including violent resistance from segregationists and law enforcement. However, it also saw landmark victories, such as the Supreme Court's decision in Brown v. Board of Education, which declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional, and the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which outlawed discrimination and protected voting rights. The civil rights movement, led by individuals like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks, challenged segregation and discrimination. Martin Luther King Jr.'s philosophy of nonviolent resistance inspired millions and brought moral clarity to the movement. His "I Have a Dream" speech, delivered during the 1963 March on Washington, remains one of the most iconic moments in American history. Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a pivotal event that galvanized the movement. The efforts of civil rights activists led to significant legal and social changes, breaking down barriers of segregation and opening up new opportunities for African Americans and other marginalized groups. The movement also inspired other social justice movements, including the women's rights movement, the LGBTQ+ rights movement, and the fight for disability rights. The legacy of the civil rights movement continues to influence contemporary struggles for equality and justice. The latter half of the 20th century and early 21st century have been marked by technological advancements, globalization, and ongoing social and political change. The rise of the internet and digital technologies has transformed every aspect of life, from communication and commerce to education and entertainment. Globalization has interconnected economies and cultures, leading to increased trade, travel, and cultural exchange. However, it has also brought challenges such as economic inequality, job displacement, and cultural homogenization. Social and political movements have continued to shape the nation, with protests and activism addressing issues such as racial justice, gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and environmental sustainability. The rise of social media has given new tools to activists, allowing them to organize and mobilize on an unprecedented scale. The political landscape has also seen significant changes, with increasing polarization and debates over issues such as immigration, healthcare, and climate change. Despite these challenges, the United States remains a dynamic and resilient nation, continually evolving and adapting to new realities. The tragic events of September 11, 2001, underscored the nation's vulnerability to terrorism. The attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon shocked the world and led to a profound shift in American foreign and domestic policy. In the immediate aftermath, there was a surge of national unity and patriotism, as Americans came together to support the victims and their families. The attacks also led to the War on Terror, with the United States launching military operations in Afghanistan and Iraq. Domestically, the attacks prompted significant changes in security and surveillance, including the creation of the Department of Homeland Security and the passage of the USA Patriot Act. The legacy of 9/11 continues to shape American society, with ongoing debates over issues such as civil liberties, immigration, and the balance between security and freedom. The attacks also had a lasting impact on American culture, influencing everything from literature and film to architecture and public memorials. The United States continues to grapple with challenges such as income inequality, climate change, and political polarization. but its history is a testament to its resilience and commitment to liberty, equality, and justice for all. The nation has faced and overcome numerous obstacles throughout its history, from economic depressions and world wars to social upheavals and political crises. Each challenge has tested the nation's resolve and spurred progress and innovation. Today, Americans are engaged in ongoing efforts to address pressing issues such as healthcare, education, and environmental sustainability. Grassroots movements and community organizations play a crucial role in advocating for change and holding leaders accountable. The nation's democratic institutions, though imperfect, provide a framework for addressing these challenges through dialogue, debate, and collective action. As the United States looks to the future, it draws strength from its diverse population, rich history, and enduring values. The journey is far from over, but the nation's story is one of continuous striving toward a more just and equitable society. In the late 19th century, the United States experienced rapid industrialization. This transformative period saw the country shift from an agrarian economy to an industrial powerhouse. Factories sprouted up across the nation, churning out goods at an unprecedented rate. The advent of new technologies and machinery revolutionized production processes, making it possible to manufacture products on a scale never before imagined. This era was marked by significant advancements in various sectors, including textiles, manufacturing, and transportation. The rise of factories not only changed the economic landscape but also had profound social implications, drawing millions of people to urban centers in search of work and better opportunities. This period, known as the Gilded Age, saw the rise of major industries such as steel, oil, and railroads. The steel industry, spearheaded by figures like Andrew Carnegie, became the backbone of American infrastructure, providing the material needed for building railroads, bridges, and skyscrapers. The oil industry, dominated by John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil, fueled the engines of industry and transportation. Railroads, crisscrossing the nation, connected distant regions, facilitating trade and migration. These industries not only drove economic growth but also led to the accumulation of vast fortunes by industrial magnates, often referred to as robber barons, due to their ruthless business practices. Entrepreneurs like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller amassed great fortunes, while laborers faced harsh working conditions. The disparity between the wealthy elite and the working class was stark. While the industrialists lived in opulent mansions and enjoyed lives of luxury, the workers toiled in dangerous and unhealthy environments for meager wages. Child labor was rampant, and workers often faced long hours with little to no job security. The lack of regulations meant that workplace accidents were common, and there was little recourse for injured workers. This growing inequality and exploitation led to increasing discontent among the labor force. The labor movement began to take shape, advocating for workers' rights and better conditions. Labor unions, such as the Knights of Labor and the American Federation of Labor, emerged as powerful voices for the working class. They organized strikes and protests, demanding fair wages, reasonable working hours, and safer working conditions. These efforts were often met with fierce resistance from employers, and sometimes led to violent clashes. Despite the challenges, the labor movement made significant strides, laying the groundwork for future labor reforms and the establishment of workers' rights as a fundamental aspect of American society. The Progressive Era followed, with reforms aimed at addressing social and economic issues. This period, spanning from the 1890s to the 1920s, was characterized by a wave of social activism and political reform. Progressives sought to address the problems caused by industrialization, urbanization, and political corruption. They pushed for reforms in various areas including labor laws, women's suffrage, education, and public health. The movement was driven by a belief in the power of government to enact positive change and improve the lives of ordinary citizens. Progressive reformers worked tirelessly to expose injustices and advocate for policies that promoted social welfare and economic fairness. Figures like Theodore Roosevelt championed antitrust laws and conservation efforts. As president, Roosevelt took on the powerful trusts and monopolies that dominated the American economy, earning a reputation as a trust buster. He believed that no individual or company should have too much power, and that the government had a role in regulating big business to protect the public interest. Roosevelt also had a deep commitment to conservation, establishing national parks, forests, and wildlife refuges to preserve America's natural heritage. His efforts laid the foundation for the modern environmental movement and highlighted the importance of balancing economic growth with environmental stewardship. The United States also expanded its influence overseas, acquiring territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines following the Spanish-American War. This marked a significant shift in American foreign policy as the nation began to assert itself as a global power. The acquisition of these territories was driven by a combination of strategic interests, economic ambitions, and a belief in the cultural superiority of American civilization. The expansion was not without controversy, as it raised questions about imperialism, self-determination, and the rights of the inhabitants of these new territories. The debate over America's role in the world would continue to shape its foreign policy for decades to come. This era laid the groundwork for future progress and challenges, setting the stage for the United States' continued evolution as a global power and beacon of democracy. The social, economic, and political changes of the Gilded Age and Progressive Era had lasting impacts on American society. The reforms and movements of this time addressed many of the injustices and inequalities that had emerged during rapid industrialization, paving the way for a more equitable and just society. However, the period also highlighted the complexities and contradictions of American democracy as the nation grappled with issues of race, class, and gender. The legacy of this era is a testament to the enduring struggle for a more perfect union. Stay tuned as we explore the pivotal moments and figures that have shaped modern America. From the struggles of the labor movement to the triumphs of progressive reformers, the story of the Gilded Age and Progressive Era is a rich tapestry of conflict, change, and progress. Join us as we delve deeper into the events and personalities that have defined this transformative period in American history, and discover how their legacies continue to influence the present and future of the United States. The early 20th century was marked by significant social and political changes. The turn of the century saw America grappling with rapid industrialization, urbanization, and the influx of immigrants. These changes brought about new social dynamics and challenges as cities grew and diversified. The women's suffrage movement gained momentum, culminating in the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, granting women the right to vote. This was a monumental victory for women's rights activists who had been fighting for decades. The suffrage movement not only empowered women politically but also sparked broader discussions about gender equality and women's roles in society. Gap 2S. The Roaring Twenties brought economic prosperity and cultural change. This decade was characterized by a booming economy, technological advancements, and a vibrant cultural scene. Jazz music, flapper fashion, and speakeasies became symbols of the era. However, beneath the surface, there were underlying economic vulnerabilities and social tensions. But this era ended abruptly with the stock market crash of 1929, leading to the Great Depression. The crash had devastating effects on the American economy, resulting in widespread unemployment, poverty, and despair. The Great Depression exposed the weaknesses in the economic system and led to significant changes in government policies and public attitudes towards economic regulation. Gap 2S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal programs aimed to provide relief, recovery, and reform to a struggling nation. The New Deal included a series of programs and projects designed to revive the economy, create jobs, and improve infrastructure. It also introduced social safety nets such as Social Security, which provided financial support to the elderly and unemployed. Gap 2S. The United States' involvement in World War II brought an end to the Great Depression and established the country as a global superpower. The war effort led to a massive mobilization of resources and manpower, transforming American industry and society. Women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, and the war spurred technological innovations that would shape the post-war world. Gap 3S. Join us in the next chapter as we delve into the transformative impact of post-war America and the rise of the modern era. The post-war period saw the emergence of the United States as a dominant global power, with significant social, economic, and cultural changes. The GI Bill provided educational and economic opportunities for returning veterans, leading to the growth of the middle class and the expansion of suburban America. Gap 2S. The post-war era also witnessed the rise of the civil rights movement, which sought to end racial segregation and discrimination. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and organizations such as the NAACP played crucial roles in advocating for equality and justice. The movement led to landmark legislation, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which aimed to dismantle institutional racism and ensure equal rights for all Americans. Gap 2S. The 1960s were a time of social upheaval and cultural transformation. The Vietnam War sparked widespread protests and a growing anti-war sentiment among the American public. The counterculture movement, characterized by its rejection of traditional values and embrace of alternative lifestyles, challenged the status quo and influenced music, art, and fashion. This era also saw significant advancements in civil rights, women's rights, and environmental awareness. Gap 2S. The global conflicts of the early 20th century, including World War I and World War II, set the stage for the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. This era was marked by the nuclear arms race, espionage, and ideological battles. The Cold War influenced American foreign policy and led to significant military and technological developments. Gap 2S. The space race was a key aspect of the Cold War, with the United States and the Soviet Union competing to achieve milestones in space exploration. The successful moon landing in 1969 was a testament to American ingenuity and technological prowess. This achievement not only demonstrated the nation's capabilities but also inspired a sense of national pride and optimism about the future. Gap 2S. The 1970s brought new challenges, including economic difficulties such as stagflation and the oil crisis. These issues highlighted the vulnerabilities of the American economy and led to debates about energy policy, economic regulation, and the role of government in addressing economic problems. Despite these challenges, the United States continued to innovate and adapt, laying the groundwork for future growth and development. Gap 2S. The 1980s saw a resurgence of American confidence and a focus on conservative economic policies, often referred to as Reaganomics. These policies emphasized tax cuts, deregulation, and a reduction in government spending. The decade also witnessed the end of the Cold War, as diplomatic efforts and internal changes within the Soviet Union led to the dissolution of the Eastern Bloc and the fall of the Berlin Wall. Gap 2S. The 1990s were marked by technological advancements and the rise of the Internet, which revolutionized communication, commerce, and daily life. The technology boom led to significant economic growth and the emergence of new industries. Globalization also accelerated during this period, with increased international trade and cultural exchange shaping the modern world. Gap 2S. As we move into the 21st century, America continues to face new challenges and opportunities. Contemporary social movements, such as those advocating for racial justice, gender equality, and environmental sustainability, reflect the ongoing evolution of American society. The nation remains a global leader, navigating complex issues in an increasingly interconnected world. Gap 3S. Join us in the next chapter as we explore the future of America and the potential for innovation, resilience, and progress. The journey of America from its early days to its current status as a superpower is a testament to the nation's ability to adapt, overcome challenges, and strive for a better future. Post-World War II. America saw unprecedented economic growth and social change. The nation emerged from the war as a global superpower, with its economy booming and its influence spreading across the world. The GI Bill provided education and housing benefits to returning veterans, fueling a housing boom and the growth of suburbs. This period saw the rise of the American middle class, with families moving into newly built suburban homes and enjoying a higher standard of living. Gap 2S. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s sought to end racial segregation and discrimination. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks became symbols of the struggle for equality, organizing protests, marches, and sit-ins to challenge unjust laws and practices. Landmark legislation such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 aimed to ensure equal rights for all Americans. These laws were significant victories for the civil rights movement, outlawing discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, and protecting the voting rights of minorities. Gap 2S. The Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal in the 1970s led to widespread distrust in government. The war, which was highly controversial and deeply unpopular, sparked massive protests and a national debate about America's role in the world. The Watergate scandal, which resulted in the resignation of President Richard Nixon, further eroded public trust in political leaders and institutions. Gap 2S. The end of the Cold War in the early 1990s marked a new era in international relations. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union signaled the end of decades of geopolitical tension between the United States and the USSR, leading to a period of relative peace and cooperation among former adversaries. Gap 3S. As we move forward, we will explore the technological advancements and cultural shifts that have shaped the 21st century. The rise of the internet, smartphones, and social media has transformed how we communicate, work, and live, creating a more interconnected and fast-paced world. Gap 2S. Throughout the latter half of the 20th century and into the 21st century, various social movements have continued to shape American society. The women's liberation movement fought for gender equality, the LGBTQ+ rights movement sought acceptance and legal protections, and environmental activists raised awareness about the need to protect our planet. Gap 2S. The 2008 financial crisis was a significant event that had a profound impact on the global economy. The collapse of major financial institutions led to widespread economic hardship, with millions of people losing their jobs and homes. The government's response, including bailouts and stimulus packages, aimed to stabilize the economy and prevent a deeper recession. Gap 2S. In the 2010s, the rise of social media and digital technology revolutionized how we access information and engage with the world. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram became powerful tools for communication, activism, and entertainment, but also raised concerns about privacy, misinformation, and the impact on mental health. Gap 2S. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 was a defining moment in recent history, affecting every aspect of life. The global health crisis led to widespread lockdowns, economic disruptions, and a shift towards remote work and virtual interactions. The pandemic also highlighted the importance of healthcare systems and the need for global cooperation in addressing public health challenges. Gap 2S. As we look to the future, addressing climate change has become one of the most pressing issues of our time. Efforts to reduce carbon emissions, transition to renewable energy sources, and promote sustainable living are critical to ensuring a healthy planet for future generations. Gap 2S. The modern era is characterized by its diversity and cultural richness. America continues to be a melting pot of different cultures, traditions, and ideas, contributing to a vibrant and dynamic society. As we move forward, embracing this diversity will be key to building a more inclusive and equitable future for all. Gap 3S. Looking ahead, technological advancements in fields like artificial intelligence, robotics, and space exploration hold the potential to transform our world in ways we can only imagine. These innovations will bring new opportunities and challenges, shaping the future of humanity in profound ways. Gap 3S. As we reflect on America's journey from its colonial beginnings to its current status as a global superpower, it is clear that the nation's strength lies in its ability to adapt, innovate, and come together in times of challenge. The future holds great promise, and by working together, we can build a better world for generations to come. The 21st century has brought new challenges and opportunities for the United States. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the U.S. finds itself at the forefront of both technological advancements and global issues. The digital revolution has transformed the way people live and work, creating new industries and reshaping old ones. From Silicon Valley to the Heartland, technology is driving innovation and economic growth. With advancements in technology, the U.S. has seen a surge in startups and tech giants that are changing the global landscape. Companies like Apple, Google, and Tesla are not only leading in their fields but also setting trends for the future. However, the nation has faced significant challenges, including the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. This tragic event reshaped national security policies and had a profound impact on the American psyche. The Great Recession of 2008 was another major challenge, leading to widespread economic hardship. Millions of Americans lost their jobs and homes, and the effects of the recession were felt globally. In addition to these crises, the U.S. continues to grapple with ongoing debates over healthcare, immigration, and climate change. These issues are deeply divisive and have sparked widespread protests and political debates. Despite these challenges, the United States remains a global leader in many areas, including technology, culture, and military power. Silicon Valley continues to be the epicenter of technological innovation, while Hollywood shapes global entertainment. The country's history is a testament to its resilience and ability to adapt to changing circumstances. From the Revolutionary War to the Civil Rights Movement, America has shown an incredible capacity for growth and change. One of the significant opportunities for the U.S. in the 21st century is the shift towards renewable energy. As the world moves away from fossil fuels, the U.S. has the potential to lead in the development and implementation of green technologies. Education and research are also critical areas where the U.S. can excel. With world-renowned universities and research institutions, the country has the resources to drive innovation and solve some of the world's most pressing problems. The diversity of the American population is another strength. The melting pot of cultures, ideas, and perspectives fosters creativity and innovation, making the U.S. a unique and dynamic place. The exploration of space presents another frontier for American leadership. With private companies like SpaceX and government agencies like NASA, the U.S. is poised to lead the next era of space exploration and discovery. On the global stage, the U.S. continues to play a crucial role in international diplomacy and trade. Its influence in global organizations and its network of alliances are vital for maintaining global stability and fostering economic growth. The U.S. military remains one of the most powerful in the world, providing security and support to allies while also being involved in various conflicts and peacekeeping missions. Entrepreneurship and small businesses are the backbone of the American economy. The spirit of innovation and the drive to create new opportunities are deeply ingrained in the American ethos. The rich cultural and natural heritage of the United States is a source of pride and inspiration. From iconic landmarks to breathtaking landscapes, the country offers a diverse array of experiences and opportunities. At its core, the strength of the United States lies in its people. The sense of community, the shared values, and the collective spirit of the American people are what make the nation resilient and forward-looking. As the United States navigates the complexities of the 21st century, it does so with a sense of optimism and determination. The challenges are significant, but so are the opportunities. The journey of America continues, driven by the enduring spirit of its people and the promise of a brighter future. As we move deeper into the 21st century, the United States stands at the cusp of a new era, defined by rapid technological advancements, profound cultural shifts, and significant political changes. The late 20th century saw the birth of the Internet, a revolutionary development that has since transformed every aspect of American life. From the way we communicate to how we conduct business, the digital age has reshaped society in ways previously unimaginable. In the realm of technology, the rise of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has created a new virtual public square, where ideas are exchanged, movements are born, and societal norms are challenged. The influence of these platforms extends beyond personal connections, impacting politics, business, and global relations. Culturally, America has become more diverse and interconnected. The blending of different cultures has enriched the American experience, bringing new perspectives and fostering a deeper understanding of global issues. The rise of multiculturalism has also influenced the nation's arts, cuisine, and traditions, creating a vibrant mosaic that reflects the evolving identity of the country. Politically, the late 20th and early 21st centuries have been marked by significant changes. The election of the first African-American president, Barack Obama, in 2008, was a historic milestone that highlighted the progress made in civil rights and the ongoing quest for equality. However, political polarization and debates over issues such as healthcare, immigration, and climate change continue to shape the national discourse. The digital age has also brought about new challenges. Cybersecurity threats, misinformation, and concerns over privacy have become pressing issues that require innovative solutions and vigilant oversight. As technology continues to evolve, so too must the strategies to safeguard the public and ensure the ethical use of digital tools. Looking ahead, the United States faces the exciting prospect of further advancements in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and renewable energy. These fields hold the potential to revolutionize industries, improve quality of life, and address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. The exploration of space, led by both private companies like SpaceX and government agencies like NASA, promises to open new frontiers and expand our understanding of the universe. At the heart of these developments is the enduring spirit of innovation and resilience that defines the American people. As the nation navigates the complexities of the digital age, it does so with a commitment to progress, equality, and the shared goal of building a brighter future for all. The journey of America continues, driven by the relentless pursuit of knowledge, the celebration of diversity, and the unwavering belief in the promise of tomorrow. The challenges are significant, but the opportunities are boundless. Together, the American people will write the next chapter in the ever-evolving story of their nation. As we reflect on the journey of the United States from its inception to the digital age, we see a tapestry woven with threads of triumph, struggle, innovation, and resilience. Each era we've explored has contributed to the complex, dynamic nation that America is today. From the first explorers who set foot on this land to the pioneers of the digital frontier, the American story is one of continuous evolution. It's a story written by countless individuals, each leaving their mark on history and shaping the future. Today, as we stand at the threshold of new possibilities, we are reminded of the power of unity, diversity, and the relentless pursuit of progress. The challenges we face are significant, but the spirit of innovation and the commitment to equality and justice continue to propel us forward. As we close this chapter, we invite you to reflect on your own role in this ongoing narrative. How will you contribute to the future of your community, your country, and the world? What legacy will you leave for the next generation? If you enjoyed this journey through time, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.